Welcome to Breath of Fresh Air, the podcast bringing fresh insight and real talk to the world of dental practice management. Your hosts, Amanda Demora and Sarah Hamlin, are two industry insiders who've seen it all from the front desk to the C-suite. Amanda, the founder of Essential Dental Services, now Daydream Dental, is an operations consultant, business coach, and practice management expert. Sarah, former COO of Essential Dental Services, continues her leadership journey as the COO of Daydream Dental, a cutting-edge dental billing company. Together, they deliver unfiltered conversations on dental office operations, leadership, revenue cycle management, team dynamics, strategy, industry trends, and more. Designed for practice managers, dentists, assistants, and front office professionals, this podcast is the ultimate resource for anyone looking to optimize and elevate their dental practice. Take a deep breath, because Breath of Fresh Air is here to shake things up and help dental teams build smarter, smoother, and more successful practices.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Breath of Fresh Air podcast. I'm Amanda Demora.
And I'm Sarah Hamlin, and we are so excited to have you guys here with us today.
Today is a very special episode. If you've been listening to us for a little while, you know that we're very intentional about the people we bring on the show, and we do get outreach from people wanting to be guests, but we're pretty selective about that. We like to keep it to only people and companies and vendors that we truly know and trust, those we've worked with directly or have had firsthand experience with.
Yep, and today's guest really fits that bill.
We're talking dental supplies, which is one of my favorite things to talk about, honestly. And we're thrilled to welcome Frontier Dental, who also happens to be a proud sponsor of the show. And to be completely transparent, I'm the one who reached out to them to collaborate, not the other way around. I have been using Frontier in my practice for over a year now, and I've been so impressed with their service, their pricing, how easy things have been. I've been doing supply ordering for 20 years. I consider myself to be somewhat of a whiz at it. So if a company is impressing me, I think that that's kind of saying something.
Yeah, it's super important, like Amanda said, that we share what we genuinely use and love. And Frontier is definitely one of those companies. So today we're really pulling back the curtain on dental supply ordering because it's more than clicking just add to cart. It's really a whole strategy.
Yep. And with that being said, we're very excited to welcome today's guest, which is Micheline Hawley, Director of Sales and Customer Service at Frontier Dental. Micheline,
Yay!
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Amanda, Sarah. Pleasure.
All right. So, Micheline, we want to hear a little bit about your background, if you have a background in dental, and also how you found your way to Frontier.
It has been a beautiful journey, honestly. And so I will start with what inspired me to be a dental hygienist in the first place.
All right.
When I was in high school trying to sort out what I want to do for the rest of my life, I was really, really good at art. I took a number of courses. I received awards, and I was always, very good at working with my hands. I had an attention to detail. I always wanted to help people. I loved health in general. And I had some of the classic personality traits that you'd think a dental hygienist would have. So bubbly and outgoing, but also able to keep people feeling calm and at ease, as the dental office can be a little bit of a nerve-wracking place for some. And I have to throw in, I love picking at things. So
Don't we all?
Yes.
So my transition through my education to being where I am now. So in high school, I did do a placement at one of my local dental offices, and they taught me so much about, what teamwork really is and how they operate. And from there, I did take dental assisting, and I only did that actually so that I was a more well-rounded dental hygienist. And I wanted to fully understand how to do everything in the office in case somebody ever needed me to jump in, because I'm a team player. So I finished dental assisting, and I did go straight into dental hygiene school, and I practiced full time for about 7 or 8 years. And then just before the pandemic hit us, it was a very saturated field for dental hygiene here in Ontario, and I had to work at many different offices to gain full-time hours. So it did lead to a little bit of burnout, and I thought to myself, how can I utilize all of the knowledge and experience I've gained? But at the same time, I want to try a new career. So I had always seen that Frontier was hiring for sales reps, and I really wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, going from an hourly pay role to more of a commission-based role. And I questioned at some points, like, am I going to be able to pay my bills even, right? While I grew my clientele and grew my commissions. But, it ended up being my pandemic silver lining, if you will. I took the leap of faith, and now I'm such an advocate for others to do the same. So yeah, I started as a sales rep here, and, it was a mix of hustle, ambition, and being at the right place at the right time. My sales grew very quickly as a sales rep. And as our sales grew as a company, the need for internal resources to serve our customers better obviously also grew. So they hired me for a hybrid position, which was sales rep and customer service manager. And it was a smaller role at first. And there I built the foundation for our customer service team. But eventually it did get to a point where I thought, I can't be the best sales rep and I can't be the best manager that I can be. So I knew that I had to kind of choose one avenue. And just as, that happened, the position became available to oversee both teams. So I thought, since I know the ins and outs of being a sales rep and I helped to develop the customer service team, I'm going to throw my hat in and we'll see what happens here. So since launching in the States even, we've grown so much more that I've been transitioning a little bit away from, customer service and focusing more on the sales aspect. But we collaborate so often just because our teams touch so much. So we now have a new leader for the customer service team, and I'm focusing on sales. So yeah, it's been, again, an amazing journey, and it's far from over.
I think everyone's kind of journey within dental, because Sarah and I have done a lot of different things too, from working in practices to other dental related companies. I always love hearing how people got from point A to point B to point C. And I started my dental journey in hygiene school. I did not make it that far. I knew being a hygienist was not for me. However, I did like to pick. And I remember, I think like day one, we got our typodonts that had like the fake calculus on it, went home, took it all off the first night. There was none left for me to use throughout the semester.
That's so great.
It's just so gratifying,
It is. It truly is. Oh, geez. But yeah, it's really scary for some people. Like, again, going from more of an hourly pay to commission-based, a lot of people often wonder how they can use their skills and their knowledge. And really, sales is a great option. But, people will ask about sales, but there's not many people who've actually tried it, right? So, once you find somebody that does, they'll tell you how great it is. And it is, again, like an amazing opportunity if you'd like to, try something new.
I think that question comes up all the time is I'm burnt out. What else can I do with these credentials? Or just, I want to try something new. Maybe I'm not burnt out, but maybe clinical isn't for me, or working in an office isn't for me. I think a lot of people feel like there's nowhere else for them to go outside an actual office. And that is definitely not true.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think, or as we know, dental hygiene is not the kindest on your body too. So like, even if maybe you do still want to be in office, or you do really love dentistry and you want to keep being in the mix, like, sometimes it just doesn't work to be sitting in that chair all day, every day anymore. So like Amanda, I really love hearing about other opportunities that are still dental adjacent and involved in, all the day-to-day things of dentistry, but give you the wear and tear that being a hygienist does on the daily.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to consider us still a part of the dental team. We're just on the other side of things now, really. So
for sure. And honestly, I think that kind of plays right into like Frontier's culture, and what does really set you guys apart is that you want to be part of the team. Like, you're there to support the office. It's not just coming in to meet our quotas and make this dollar. Like, you really are there to support the office and their best intentions at heart. And I think that is really what sets you guys apart, for sure.
Yes, it does. Our sales reps, they know our customers' dogs' names. They know what they did on the weekend. They hear about their daughters going to dance class. Like, they have amazing relationships. So again, like, because, we talk the talk as ex-dental personnel, right? A lot of our sales team is built from being, ex-dental assistants, ex-dental hygienists. It really helps to, like, we have a mutual understanding, if you will. So that's great.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah. I want to elaborate a little bit more on our culture, if that's okay, because we really have a special thing going on at Frontier. So I always say that we have a work hard, play hard culture. So we want people to genuinely feel motivated and enjoy coming to the office. So if you ask anyone here what their favorite parts about working here are, they're going to say, number one, the people. Next, they're going to say the snacks, and then
very important.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I said, almost 20 years ago at this point, I took over the supply ordering at my practice. We are a big practice. I mean, doing over $200,000 worth of supply ordering each year, which is big. So, the dollars kind of really add up and affect your bottom line when you're talking about numbers that big. And I remember when I was being trained by the person who was doing it prior to me, I said, how come we're ordering from this place and we're not like ever trying to save money? And she said, Amanda, no one cares and no one will thank you for it. And I was thinking, I don't know if that's the best attitude, but I don't know what it was. I was so like on a mission to kind of save money. I think like as women, we like to like bargain on
find a deal.
Bit. Right. It's almost like the thrill of it. So I was on this kind of mission to start a strategic process of sourcing and evaluating and managing our vendor relationships. So more procurement rather than just purchasing. So that very first year, I remember we saved $65,000 on our supplies. That is a lot. Like I said, we're doing a lot of supply ordering every month. And, that was noticed and that was appreciated. And even if it wasn't, I still would have done it. And I still continue to this day. So over the years, I got very good at doing this, but, I was always kind of price checking, and it took me a long time. It took a long time out of my day to like check a million websites and stuff. But once I found Frontier was the first company that I found that had a great website, which we're going to talk about. And also I knew that I didn't need to check a million other websites in terms of, was I getting the best price? Did they have enough in stock for me? Mm-hmm. All of that stuff. So it's definitely saved me a lot of time. And then after that, I kind of started to fall in love with the company. I love the marketing. We were just talking about pets, and I love Frontier's little spotlight on like is it pet of the month or pet of the week?
Yes.
But your employee pets, which I might kind of have to steal that idea a little bit for our social media, because I really like it. But yeah, so I want to, if you don't mind, Julie, I want to ask you some questions here about various topics in relation to ordering.
Absolutely. I'm ready.
All right. So the first one is, what are just the biggest mistakes you see when it comes to supply ordering from different practices? And I love how you kind of have firsthand experience with this. You're not, you have worked your way up the ladder and we're working directly with practices. So that's great.
That's right. Yeah. So not ordering from Frontier, simply. Just kidding. Practices tend to stick to the status quo and think that larger, more expensive vendors equal better quality products. But what they just don't know yet is that they really don't have to overpay for dental supplies anymore. We're all selling the same supplies. So another thing is ordering based on habit, not data. Lack of standardization. So different team members ordering different brands or quantities, and we should always be striving for consistency where possible. Poor vendor management. So sticking with one vendor without price comparison. However, Frontier, we do that work for you, as you know. We always aim to be the lowest, okay, while giving you the same quality supplies that you know and love. Not tracking back orders or delivery delays. So assuming all ordered items will arrive on time. So again, Frontier, we take this out of the equation, and I think I'll have time to elaborate that on that a little bit later.
All right.
Ignoring expiry dates or not following the first in, first out inventory policies. It's a big one.
Yeah, sorry. I was like thinking, some of this stuff feels like it would be so common sense in an office. Like you would think that people would just be like, oh, I know I need to use the anesthetic that's that's the oldest and is going to expire first. But like, it's amazing how these things just get lost when they're quickly trying to unload supplies and put them on the shelf. I mean, these things fall through the cracks like much more, I think, than we realize that they do.
The people whose first job was not at a grocery store, very,
it
very
really shows.
obvious. Yes.
Yeah.
Mine was. So maybe that's why like this is all coming full circle here. Mine was
absolutely. I have to agree, as was mine. More are like, failing to set budgets or not having a supply plan for emergencies such as, sudden shortages from pandemics or supplier disruptions, and the over-reliance on manual processes like using sticky notes, memory, verbal communication to handle ordering. So
I will tell you right now, memory does not work, especially for me right at this moment in my life. So
yeah. Or what about, I have worked in some offices too, where it's like, there's not one set person like in charge of ordering. They kind of like have the website like bookmarked on whatever page, and everybody kind of goes to the charting computer and like adds stuff to the cart as they see that it's out. And it's just like, some of these processes are just not the way to do it.
That's right.
Dislike button on that.
I know.
All right. And then my next question was, what are some just easy, simple ways that practices can streamline the ordering process?
All right. Good question. So I recommend using ideally a digital inventory tracking system. There are manual ones that have worked as well, but, in this day and age, I think most people are moving towards digital, and implementing par level tracking. So this means setting minimum quantities for each item and having office staff check inventory regularly, so whether that be weekly or biweekly, and anything that falls below the par levels get added to the reorder list. So this helps to prevent supply shortages before they even happen. And also, we've built some really helpful features on our website to help make ordering more efficient as well. So practices can access their full order history and quickly order previously purchased items without having to search for them again. There's the ability to place orders for multiple locations or practices under a single account. So that saves you a lot of time and avoids the hassle of managing multiple logins. And of course, many users take advantage of the simple method of using the shopping cart as their running order total. And you can save your frequent orders as well. So
I
love that.
Just placed an order maybe Wednesday, I think, and just fully like decked out the My Shop area. So got all my favorites in there. And Sarah and I talk about delegation a lot as practice manager, as practice managers and as business owners, and I am poor at it. But I just came back from maternity leave, and when I was on maternity leave, I'm not going to lie. I did most of the supply ordering from maternity leave because I'm so
It's hard to give up.
Right. It's my baby. It's like my third baby. But there were a couple times where someone else did do it. I just said, hey, I cannot get to it today. And the My Shop, I loved because they weren't like guessing, like, what brand is this that we use for these tips or whatever it is. It was all just right there. I think a lot of times with supply ordering, there is a lot of guesswork, and there have been times before when someone did the ordering for me and I'm like, what? Why did you order that from there? Because it was $100 more a box. And, and
they're like, I don't know what brand this is because somebody threw away the box because this was the last one. So I'm just trying to find one that's the same color.
Yes, exactly. So I love that part of the Frontier website for sure. That will just, maybe I can start delegating a little bit once.
Note to
Love
self.
that for you.
Exactly. Let's add that to the to-do list at the end of the episode.
Right. All right. And then how can offices track and measure ordering habits without, overspending?
Yeah, so this ties back to the importance of the PAR levels and supply checklists. So when you consistently use a structured inventory system by setting PAR levels and tracking usage, you gain a much better visibility into what your practice actually needs. So when that system is combined with the analysis of patient volume, whether monthly or seasonally, it becomes a powerful tool for identifying patterns and preventing overspending. And by aligning your supply ordering with actual patient flow, you avoid unnecessary purchases, reduce waste, and maintain healthier margins. So super important. And it also allows practices to forecast needs more accurately, take advantage of bulk discounts when appropriate, and avoid last minute rush orders, which are often expensive. So it's not just about keeping shelves stocked, it's about creating a smarter, more cost-effective approach to managing your resources.
Yeah.
I really like the PAR levels idea here because the PAR levels are in my head and no one else knows them. So, again, when the few times someone has had to do ordering, I'm like, why did you order 5 of that desensitizing agent? Because we just do not go through it that much. Most of it will expire. So I think that's something that I do need to implement for sure.
Very helpful.
Yes.
So it prevents supply shortages and keeps your team from running out of your critical items mid-procedure or, the day of. And you can reduce overstocking and waste by avoiding unnecessary bulk orders or expired supplies.
Yeah.
And it saves time. We all know how valuable time is, and supply checklists make it easy to quickly scan and restock without guesswork. When supplies are organized and readily available, appointments run smoother, stress stays lower for everybody, and patient experiences improve as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to, again, a couple of offices that I worked in where somebody thought that it was cheaper and easier to order 400,000 tray covers because, we will use them. And then the basement of the office is like full of boxes and boxes and boxes of tray covers. And then, lo and behold, then the office renovates and they get rid of that size tray. And then what are we going to do with all these tray covers now? Trying to figure out if you can fit the tray cover paper through the printer. Can we print route slips on this? Like, what are we going to do with all this paper? Oh, yeah.
That happened at our practice way back when we were using like 4x4s and Cavicide spray to clean rooms. And then guess what? The wipes came out and we had all these 4x4s that we just had nothing to do with. So, word of caution when you're ordering in bulk that way, that trends and things change for sure.
Yeah. And also I think you have to really actually take a few minutes to like do some math and crunch some numbers. And this is where the like PAR level I think can come in, is like, in your head, you're thinking, oh, we're always going to use tray covers and literally, 20,000 tray covers. Oh, that doesn't seem like that many. We'll go through that fast. But if you look at how many patients you see on an average week, how many patients you see in an average month, how many you see in an average year, like 20,000 tray covers is literally 10 years
Right.
of tray covers. And so you have to like actually be willing to kind of sit down and do some of that math or do some of that evaluation. Otherwise, you are kind of setting yourself up for either under ordering and having to scramble to do it, or potentially way over ordering.
I do bulk order when needed and when warranted and, when I think it's right. However, I don't like having a ton of stuff because sometimes I think people tend to carelessly use it when there's an overabundance of it, for sure. It's kind of like in your house, or no, like when you just have a little bit of your moisturizer left or something, and like that can last so long if you stretch it. And you're kind of like, wait, why wasn't I using it like that all this time? It would have lasted longer. But, it's that kind of mentality I think people get into at their practice. So I don't like to run lean, but I like to not just have a ton of something sitting around.
Yeah. Well, and I think for a lot of offices too, it's like legitimately a space and storage thing too. Like not a ton of these offices just have huge back rooms that they can like stack up all these boxes. Sometimes it's space is tight and in-operatory space is tight too. So, be mindful of that. If you are thinking of bulk ordering, is like, where are you going to put all of these boxes of masks or boxes of gloves? Like you have to have a place to store it if you're going to do a bulk order as well.
Absolutely. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about how practices and the people who are doing the actual supply ordering can shift from a purchasing mindset to more of a procurement mindset. And just in case our listeners don't know, so purchasing is the act of buying something. It's just, transactional. And procurement is the strategic process of sourcing, evaluating, and managing vendor relationships. So it's this whole cycle of seeing things from beginning to end. And I really like that notion when we're talking about supplies because, there are a lot of parts to this, and your bottom line and your supplies kind of are cyclical, right? They're affecting the whole practice in many different ways. So, Micheline, are there smart ways to stack savings without compromising on product quality?
Definitely. So I would say that taking advantage of promotions when they make sense. So every season is promo season at Frontier. We're always rolling out great deals, from competitive everyday pricing to special coupon codes, but we partner directly with hundreds of manufacturers to bring you exclusive promos as well, and discounts on the products you already love and trust.
If there's, some of the things we order a ton of are just things we go through a lot. So impression material, a lot. I hate to say it, hygiene tray covers. Things
Nice
like that.
tie-in.
Pouches, right? We will pounce on those anytime. And I have to say that Frontier has the best prices on pouches for sure. They're just super low, and I love them. Okay. How does standardization play a role in improving like the procurement process? So, I'll let you talk about that a little bit more because you're the expert.
Yeah, so the biggest thing I would say is to just consolidate where you can as well, right? So if there is, 6 hygienists at your practice and, there's 4 different masks that you're ordering and they're all doing the same job, to consolidate hopefully to one brand, that would be ideal. I see you saving money there by doing that as well, just because there's going to be different fluctuations. You might be able to take advantage of promos better. And also, again, when it comes to items that expire, you're reducing your chance of falling upon expired items.
Yep. Hygienist, you're getting one type of prophy angle, and that is it.
That's what I was just thinking of, like I remember from being in office, it's like, well, I don't like that mask because it rubs my nose in this way. And I don't like the way that this one smells, or it leaves fuzzies on my face. Like we could have a whole nother episode about that, Amanda, is like managing the team when it comes to their preference for these things and how you standardize that from a human standpoint. But
right. We do kind of make exceptions and things for allergies,
sure.
For masks and gloves too. But still, you got to reel it in a little bit. You just can't be getting six types of masks and six types of prophy angles and whatever else it might be. I will say that we have 3 doctors, and they're all really good about using the same resin and the same desensitizing agent and all of that stuff. So makes it easy for me for sure. All right. Should practices have a dedicated supply ordering person?
I do believe so. It really just reduces the chance of errors being made. Again, you're going to order different brands. You're going to order different quantities. One person might know the source for a product with the lowest price from one vendor, and the other, as you mentioned before, they could be just right. Exactly. So it's really just, I prefer to, as a sales rep, I prefer to deal with one person. There's just less chance of communication errors, really. You don't need things being ordered twice.
Right. I think it just leads to some continuity, which is really important, I think, when we're talking about supplies. So that is my vote, although I obviously am a little bit biased in that department.
I thought we were supposed to be working on delegating here, Amanda, not reinforcing your
like I said, now that everything's in my shop, I know that they're not ordering the wrong thing. They're just going in from my history. So it could work.
That is kind of like the awesome thing about Frontier and this, like the setup that they have is like, even if you do have one designated person in charge of ordering regularly, people take vacations, people have babies, they're gone out of the office, whatever. But like Frontier makes it possible for you to have one dedicated person doing the ordering and still be able to cover those times where they're out. Or their sales reps, I'm sure, can help fill in the gaps too and say, oh, usually Amanda orders this. I see that you guys ordered this. Can I help you guys with that too? And that's like a level of service and, assistance that I think you don't always get from the bigger box stores.
So how can offices buy in bulk, and when does it really make sense to do that? I know we were kind of just talking about that, but when does it really make sense to do it?
So it can be a smart strategy, but it should always be tailored to your practice's unique needs and patient volume trends. So for instance, if you typically experience a surge in appointments during times like March break or back to school season, it makes sense to order certain supplies in bulk ahead of time. And this ensures you're well prepared and can avoid higher costs or delays that come with last minute ordering. However, it's equally important to be cautious during the slower periods like the holiday season, which could be hit or miss, especially that, in between Christmas and New Year's, when over ordering can lead to excess inventory, wasted space, as we've touched upon, unnecessary spending. So the key is to monitor your monthly and seasonal patient flow closely so you can make informed decisions. Bulk buying is most effective when paired with proper inventory tracking, so your power level management, a solid understanding of the usage of trends, and it also allows practices to take advantage of promotional pricing and supplier discounts, but only when it aligns with the actual demand. So the goal is to stay stocked without overstocking, so striking the balance between preparedness and cost efficiency.
So speaking of budgets, is there a metric or a number that practices should be looking for? Their supplies should be X percentage of their total collections. Do you guys have one?
So we don't actually have that, but how I kind of look at things is I have a general idea for a general practice office, about how much per month they should be spending per operatory. And that's kind of how I gauge, but it can really depend. It can really fluctuate so much depending on what type of services the provider
and specialty offices and things, for sure.
Exactly. So there's no real calculation from my standpoint, unfortunately.
I think an industry standard right now is probably, really 3 to 5%, I would say. And Frontier has really helped us keep it there, because I think prior to that, we were fluctuating a little bit. But like I said, one thing that I do every month is obviously review our financials from our accountant. And that is the first place I go, is supplies. I want to see where I'm at. And I have consistently been under 5% or under since ordering from Frontier. So something to be said for that, for sure. But you're right, specialty offices. And you could be a general office that does a ton of, all on 4 cases or, major work, and your fees are just going to be different. And
yeah. And it depends as well. Are you somebody who you prefer brand name supplies, or are you okay with going a house brand route, which obviously is going to save you, like 3/4 sometimes of the price?
Yes, definitely. Yep. All right. How can Frontier help avoid emergency overnight orders? Happens a lot. Happened a lot during COVID,
yes,
obviously.
It does happen. So they can hopefully be avoided with good practices. They do happen from time to time, but the best way to prevent them is by consistently using the supply checklist and power level tracking methods, as we discussed earlier, by properly managing your inventory and analyzing patient volume. Whether it fluctuates seasonally or monthly, you'll be better equipped to plan ahead and maintain adequate stock levels. That said, if emergencies do arise, we've got you covered. We offer fast shipping options, including overnight delivery. It is at an additional cost, but we do have a fully automated warehouse that works around the clock, so your order is being picked and prepared while you sleep.
What does that mean? Automated warehouse? Like a robot's taking something off a shelf? What?
Yes. It's a robot. Yes. And then we do, as long as orders are placed before 5 p.m., everything, like we always ship it that day. So it should get to you in a timely manner.
Yes. This is very, very cool.
Yes. Very important.
When I first started ordering, there's a learning curve to it. And I just want anyone listening who might take it on, or they're new to supply ordering. Like, it took me a bit to get into a flow. When I first started, I was ordering like 2-3 times a week because I just was nervous. I didn't know how often we were going through stuff and all of that. And then, you will get into a flow and you'll start to notice those things. And once you get organized, I feel much more organized now using Frontier's, the My Shop section that I keep talking about. But you'll get there. It's not an overnight thing. And it can be overwhelming because I also remember I never wanted to run out of anything. Like, that was a big fear of mine because I didn't want anyone to be upset with me. I didn't want patients to have to be rescheduled because we didn't have this or that. So it was like stressful. It was very stressful when I took it on, but I feel pretty good about it now. I'm not sure we've run out of anything to where someone had to be rescheduled ever.
You better knock on wood, Amanda. You're going to jinx yourself right now is what's going to happen.
I know.
I'm sure you know all the tricks especially after this show.
Yeah.
Our team is really good about letting me know about things that are running low too. But we have these really cool floor to ceiling. I'm sure you've seen them, Micheline, like tip out clear bins. So easy to just walk in there and be like, there's nothing in there. Let me order that thing. So that has made life much, much easier.
Yep.
All right. Now so dental teams are busier than ever. And, myself included, and having a way to order efficiently without sacrificing quality, I think is a big game changer. So I want to talk a little bit about, Frontier's website in particular. And one of my favorite things is how products have the 360-degree view. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So shall we discuss maybe in regards to our website? So firstly, obviously, for it to be very user-friendly was super important. So it's very straightforward. It's no contract online ordering system. So it allows dental practices to place orders with ease and flexibility. Oftentimes I see orders come through at like 2 a.m, right? So there's no waiting for a sales rep to get back to you. So it's literally, you can use it 24 hours a day. And again, with our automated warehouse, it packs and ships things very quickly. So
I love that.
Yeah, it's very efficient. Obviously we have an extensive product selection. So there's, let's call it 30,000 items available, and practices can find a wide range of dental supplies to meet their needs. Like there's something for everyone on there, let's say. When it comes to our pricing, all is visible for everybody to see. There's no contracts or membership fees associated to see these great prices. We're transparent about our inventory, so you won't be left wondering if or when you're going to receive a back-ordered item. We simply just don't make it available for our customers to see, because we actually want to give you the opportunity to source it elsewhere if you need to.
Yes.
So we're not going to take your money and keep the back-ordered items and send them out, whenever they arrive. We want the ordering process to be transparent and straightforward. So I think most of us have had a bad experience when it comes to that.
Yes.
So we wanted to eliminate that completely.
Or Absolutely. I was going to say, thinking of all, and not just in dental supply ordering, obviously, but in any online ordering, the whole see the price when it's in your cart gig is so frustrating. Like, okay, if I have to put it in my cart, guess what? I'm just going to keep scrolling. So I love that you guys are just, willing to give us the information that we need to see, make our lives a little easier.
Exactly.
I think with some other companies, it's not always transparent when things are on back order. And then next thing you know, you're like waiting for something to come in. And I'm like, okay, well, let me go check on that. Oh, it's on back order. Now I have to get it from somewhere else, and it's coming twice. And
yes.
It's a mess.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And then again, you're having to call around and, having to, try to chase down a sales rep, which hopefully they can answer their phone in a timely manner. But so we kind of take the guesswork out there. And so our free shipping, obviously we provide free shipping to our registered dental professionals when you have a user profile with us. So whether it's a $20 order, $2 order, or $2,000 order, it's always free to you. And by no minimum order total and zero shipping fees, this is just another way to help you save money and manage your budgets more effectively.
Yes,
I love
that's
that.
amazing. I love free shipping on anything.
Yes.
Also, speaking of shopping habits, and I'm just going to make myself sound like I do online shopping all the time, but that's the other thing that drives me crazy is when you put any order into your cart and then you're like, all right, this is what I need. I'm going to go check out. And then $500 in shipping later, you're like, okay, never mind. I don't want to do this. So I love that you just don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Or you have a $500 minimum in order to get the free shipping. And sometimes you don't need that. And it's like, well, you might as well just, again, then it leads to you're dealing with expiry issues. You're dealing with, excess inventory just because, you're ordering something just to order something.
Yeah, so, because all of the processes and all the suggestions that we just made about ordering smart kind of go out the window when you have to consider your consolidating for shipping costs and all of this stuff. It makes it really hard to follow those recommended guidelines when you're also trying to save money on shipping. So yes, I'm all about the free shipping.
Yes. Always thinking about you.
Yes.
So our 360-degree product views, maybe we'll discuss that. Okay. So that's something that's unique to Frontier. It provides a clear, detailed, and interactive visual experience, if you will, for our customers. So it's like you're seeing it in a physical store, and it's something that we've taken so much pride in, as it's very unique to us. It's a big investment that we made, and we wanted to do so to assist the customer in ensuring that they're purchasing the correct products.
Now, I'm so curious about this. So, like, did you guys you guys are the ones taking like the 360 view and like making this happen, right? This is like something that you guys went out of your way to do. That sounds so nerdy, but that's amazing, because so many of these companies are like, here's a paper catalog, by the way, if you want to see pictures. How many of them have the no image available in the little picture box?
That's exactly
Yes.
it. Yeah.
So for you guys to have that for every single thing is just like, I love it.
Yes, it's honestly, it's very awesome. Every single product that comes through through to our warehouse, we're taking a picture of every single one. So
incredible.
Absolutely.
This is coming very handy for me, because I think we were talking about this before, I think off air, possibly with Tiffany, who we've been working with a lot at Frontier. But my doctors are famous for like, I want this super obscure, extra fine gold football, super pointed burr. And I'm like,
yes.
And we ordered one and it wasn't pointed enough. And then, we ordered it again. And then even some cements that are mixed with, their own type of gun. I want to make sure that the cement goes with the gun and all of this stuff. It's so nice to be able to see what I am actually ordering, so we don't have to deal with the return shuffle, as we like to call it.
Yeah, I think burrs are immediately what came to my mind too, because also there's always these like random nicknames for burrs too, like a football or a mosquito or like whatever. They come up with all these names, and it's like, I feel like the doctor knows it as one thing and it's in the catalog as another, and they're trying to say exactly like Amanda said, well, it's a little bit longer, but when they're working in millimeters, it's like, I can't tell what is a little bit longer.
Not to mention all of the brands have different names or the obscure coding systems.
Yes.
You're going to need a burr conversion chart.
Even, as a hygienist yourself, hygiene instruments.
Big one.
Right. There are so many that it's crazy. And I want to be sure that I'm ordering the proper thing when the hygienist comes up and says, could I have some more sharp instruments?
Well, and also like some of these products too are not the ones that are cheap. So even if you're able to do returns and that, even if Frontier makes that part pretty easy, which, I'm sure you guys do, like it's still an investment to have to buy this thing up front and then have to think about buying another one. And then that whole thing, like, so especially for, these more expensive like supplies, you want to just get it right the first time.
Yes,
absolutely.
Especially when it's something that you need to. You don't want to deal with delays of having to return things and then get the right thing. So I love it. All right. So what's some feedback you've heard customers say about how the website makes their lives easier?
I love this question. Yeah. So again, transparency about back orders. It's a huge one. When a product is back ordered, we have related products that suggest to the customer what they can purchase to tide them over at the very least. And reviewing their orders and invoices online has been extraordinarily beneficial for our customers' financial or accounting departments, and even being able to schedule the returns. So there's no guessing as to when you're going to have a pickup. By facilitating this on your own clock, it ensures that it's always done when it makes sense for you. And even if it is that 2:00 in the morning. So another thing is the My Shop. We've discussed that a lot because it is so know and customers can favorite their commonly ordered items and save entire orders. And, if they know they're going to be purchasing a large majority of the same items each and every month, then these are exactly the type of supplies that should be going on these saved orders. And, things like your PPE, infection control supplies, disposables, and other sundries, you can save these and adjust the quantities each time to better suit your needs for that month or that season.
I love it. All right. So are there any new tools or resources or product lines that Frontier customers or non-customers who are going to be converting should know about?
Any product brands?
Yeah.
So I have to rep for our own house brand. It's House Brand Dentistry, HSB. It is phenomenal. We basically white label from some of the top manufacturers. So you don't have to sacrifice on quality, and it's a great price for you.
I can attest to that. And like I already mentioned the pouches. The other day, just kind of for kicks, I was looking at some mix tips for our impression material, and I think they were maybe $8 or something low like that through Frontier. And then like the name brand through one of the big suppliers was $75 or something. Like, okay, this is totally crazy. And we use them a lot.
Right.
So mix tips, huge. And like you said, I really love all the house brand items. So
again, like to me, in my opinion, there's nothing you could do to make me pay that price for something that's just going to be disposed of.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, again, like in terms of things that, are disposables and, that stuff, fine. There's going to be some other items where, of course, you want to make sure that you're spending, you go with a brand that you're familiar with and you trust the quality 100%, and that's fine.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of like, things that are going to be disposed of, it's no brainer to me.
Right. All disposable things, I think, to me, are kind of house brand. And then our doctors have their preferences on resins and cements and things like that. I think, things that are going in people's mouths and staying there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
And even as a patient myself, like I don't want to go in and someone's putting some like bootleg resin
Right. Yeah.
in my mouth. So I try to think of it from that standpoint. And so do our doctors too. What is one product that flies off the shelf every month?
So it hands down is going to be our house brand dentistry or our Frontier branded gloves. So I have access to any type of gloves I want, and these are the ones I gravitate towards every single time. I have a sales team of 50 sales reps nearly between Canada and US, and they will choose these every single time as well. They're great, and the price is right.
That is good to know because I haven't tried those yet. I have one doctor who is very particular about his gloves. So I do want to try them. We actually used to play pranks on him where we swapped out his gloves like in the box that he liked and see if he noticed. So I might have to resurrect that. I don't know.
Did he notice?
Well, before we even
yeah, he did.
Before we even put these on the shelves, our team is actually testing them too, right? Like they'll bring us several different options and they'll say, what ones would you ladies prefer to use? And so they're going based off people who know what a glove should look and feel like, and who have worked with people who are picky, or maybe they're picky themselves. So again, like our team, because they have the experience and the knowledge of those who've worked in clinical, like we would not steer you wrong with these, I promise you.
They know what to look for.
Absolutely.
All right. Favorite dental item that nobody appreciates enough?
Okay, so for my hygiene sisters, you're going to appreciate this. So it's an evacuation accessory called Relief.
Oh, yes, we have that.
Yeah, you're familiar?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. It's like such a lifesaver. So it makes isolation and suctioning for a number of procedures such a breeze. It's a dental hygienist's dream accessory, in my opinion. And there's many versions of this, but the Relief is my favorite.
Okay, you're right. There are a lot of different brands and types of it. I can't get enough of my hygienist to use it, but we do have it. I think they use it a lot during SRP procedures for sure, especially especially when they have the Cavitron out. I mean, you need something, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sealants they're great for sealants.
I was
as well.
just going to say that's when we used to use it in office too, was for sealants.
All right. And then last question. What's one thing you wish every dental practice understood about ordering? This is big. This is actually a big question.
It is big, and it's simple though. And it's that it doesn't need to be expensive anymore.
I like it. I like it. I think maybe I started that 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was like
again,
me
coming
on the
full
forefront.
circle.
Yes, coming full circle. And pro tip, whoever is doing your supply ordering, make sure they worked at a grocery store when they were a teenager.
I love that tip.
I hated that job, but who knew that it taught me such good foundational tactics for my future dental career.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Micheline, it was so nice to have you on the podcast. I just want to remind our listeners that we do have a custom promo code where you guys can get $20 off your first order over 100. I really, really encourage people to just build out a mini cart somewhere else and then build out your cart on Frontier and do a little price comparison. I will also say that signing up on Frontier's website, making your profile and your account was super easy, very fast. A lot of other companies is kind of complicated. It was not that way with Frontier. So that promo code is FDBOFA. So Frontier Dental, breath of fresh air. If you are not already following Frontier on social media, please do. I love what they have going on. It's one of the things that drew me to them. You're going to see like just super fun graphics and content. So for our Canadian listeners, it's just at Frontier Dental. And for our US listeners, it's at Frontier Dental US. They do both post similar things, but a little bit different depending on what country you're living in. That is about it for this episode. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
This was so fun. So happy to have you here.
Yeah, it was, Micheline. Thank you so, so much.